What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I am going to be doing a tutorial with this guy right here, the Jaclyn Hill palette. Mine's so dirty. It's so dirty. I just got this in the mail about like 2 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago maybe. And I seriously have just used and abused this palette. I love it so much. I'm going to be doing a look that I actually already did. It's a very like smoky cranberry kind of look, very good for fall. I did post this on my makeup Instagram maybe last weekend, probably last weekend. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you want to watch me play with the Jaclyn Hill palette, then keep on watching. So first we're going to be taking the third shade in the palette. It's called Silk Cream. We're just going to take that, tap off the excess, and we're going to put this, don't mind me, I'm just looking over my mirror, we're going to put this all over the lid just to set the concealer that I already have on my lid to make it a little bit easier to blend the powdered shadows, because if you skip this step you'll probably end up having some skipping, because laying powder directly on top of a cream like a concealer is not the best idea. That's why I'm doing this, so there's no skipping, your brush doesn't get stuck, it just is a more flawless application. For that I took the Sephora blending shadow brush. And now for my transition shade, I'm going to be using the Pro Featherweight Crease from Sephora. It looks like this. And I am just going to dip into Pukey, which is a very nice like bronzy kind of shade. It does look like puke. I'm going to put this in my transition, which is just a little bit above your crease, and I'm more going to focus this on the outside and then start to bring it in whatever I have left on my brush. I'm not going to dip back in. I'm just doing windshield wiper motions back and forth. The one thing that I will say about this palette is there really isn't a lot of fallout that I've noticed. I never really use the shadows dry, especially the shimmers, or I never use the shimmers dry. I always wet them with MAC Fix Plus, just because I really like to have maximum pigmentation at all times. And I find that if you do that, you're saving yourself from having a lot of fallout on your face, so why not? Okay, so now that we have that transition shade nice and blended, we're going to start to add on top of this, using the same brush, I'm going to be going into the shade Hunts, which is actually right next to Pukey. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to go a little bit lower into the crease. I'm going to start on the outside, focusing more on the outside. I can also bring it down a little bit onto my lid. I'm just going to focus it on the outer corner and then drag in. And these shadows are so pigmented. The mattes especially, they're so pigmented and they blend out so easily. This is such a user-friendly palette, especially for beginners. Just such a nice shade range. Okay, so once we have that one blended, I'm actually going to switch brushes now. I'm going to go into a little smaller, more tapered crease brush. It is the Pro Tapered Crease Brush by Sephora. I don't use any of like the Morphe brushes. I don't use any of that stuff. I literally just use all my brushes from Sephora because I find that they work the best for me. They're a little on the pricey side, I won't lie, but I've never had any issues with them. I love them. They work great for me. Okay, so now I'm going to dip into Roxanne, which is directly below Pukey. It's kind of a more warmer maroon shade, so I'm going to kind of keep this a little bit lower, and I'm not going to bring it all the way into the inner corner. I'm going to keep this more on the outside. And once I have most of it off, I can drag it in a little bit just to blend the colors together. So as you can see, when I start off, I really just kind of like pack the color onto the outer corner before I really do any blending, just because that's where I really want to focus it, and then I'll start to blend up and into the crease. So I'm going to go back to the first brush that I used. I'm going to go back into Pukey, and I'm just going to blend out the edges just to make sure that everything is seamless. We don't have any harsh lines. And this is such a great transition shade for the colors that I'm using right now, because it does have somewhat of an orange undertone, and it really just blends greatly with these reds and maroons that I'm using. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to switch brushes one more time. I'm going to go into I'm going to start using the Sephora. It's a dual-ended brush. It's just number 205. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and I'm going to use Jack's, which is right next to Roxanne. And I'm just going to, again, keep this more focused on the outer corner than anything. And I'm really just going to pack this color and then blend, just because I want the most pigmentation and the most depth on the outer corner. I don't really want it up in my crease. So once I feel like I have reached the color that I want on the outer edge, I'm just going to lightly just kind of bring it up, but I'm not going to go into the inner half of my eye at all. It's going to stay on that very outer edge. And I'm even going to bring it into my eyelid a little bit more. Okay, so then I'm going to go back in with that same brush that just had Pukey on it. I'm not going to dip back in. I'm just going to blend black. Blend black. Blend back through. Now I'm going to go back in with my Tapered Pro crease brush. I'm going to dip right back into Hunt's, and I'm just going to go lightly back over my crease just to bring that bright red forward a little bit more. Okay, so now we're ready for the lid color. I'm going to grab my MAC Fix Plus, and I'm going to use another Sephora brush that I like for packing on the lid. It's the Precision, get it together, the Precision Shadow Brush. It's just a little packing brush, small, flat. I'm just going to give a little spritz, wet the brush. And I'm going to dip into Firework, which is right next to Hunt's. I'm going to make sure I get a decent amount of pigment, and I'm just going to pack this, oh my gosh, yes, onto the lid. So this is where you're definitely going to experience fallout. It's definitely minimized if you use Fix Plus like I did and you wet the brush, but there's still fallout, which I don't mind. I'll just brush it away after I'm done. Okay, so I'm just going to pack that on the other side too. I'm going to bring that just into the outer half, just kind of lightly. I don't want to go all the way to the outer corner because I'm going to take that deeper maroon shade and I'm going to blend back through the edges. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to go back in with the 205 Sephora brush. I'm going to take that little deeper color, Jack's, and I'm just going to blend that edge so we don't have any harsh lines. Okay, now taking a smaller brush to pack in the inner corner. To be honest, I don't even know what this brush is. It's probably like one of the brushes I got off of Amazon. I don't know. It's just a small little packing brush. I'm going to wet this with my MAC Fix Plus just a little bit. I am going to go into the second shade in the, actually, let's do the first shade in the palette. I'm going to go into in Light, which is the first shade in the palette. I'm going to dip in, and I'm just going to pop this into my inner corner. Okay, and now I'm going to take my giant IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe brush, and I'm just going to wipe away that fallout that was underneath my eyes. Now we're going to do the bottom lash line. So I'm going to go in with an angled brush from Kylie Cosmetics. It came with my holiday collection. It's supposed to be like a gel eyeliner brush, but I really like it because it's very, very densely packed, but it's also very small, so I can really like get really close to the lash line. So I am going to go into the color Jax, just get some pigment on there, and I'm just going to go as close to my lash line as I can with this deep color. Alright, so then I'm going to take my IT Cosmetics pencil brush. It is the Airbrush Smoky Liner number 125, and it looks like that. I'm going to dip into Hunt's. I'm just going to go right over that color, just to smoke it out a little bit. Don't want it to be that dark. I'm going to connect my lower shadow to my outer corner, just to kind of give a unified look. And I'm going to take a clean little brush, and I'm going to take Pukey, and I'm just going to go back over everything just to give it more of a blended, like, put together look. Not so harsh. Alright, so I am going to do my winged liner and my mascara off of camera, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so here is the finished look. I didn't end up doing winged liner for fear that I would just ruin the whole look, because I am horrible at winged liner. I'm actually going to pop on a lip color just because I feel like my face does not look complete. Alright, this is the final look. Every single color that I used was obviously from the Jaclyn Hill palette. You don't always have to use this. Another way that you could have gotten this look was through the Modern Renaissance palette. The Carly Bible palette, the Tarte Pro palette. You can use anything, honestly, that has some nice warm tone reds in it. But yeah, this is all that we have. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Facebook page, check out my Instagram page, check out me. Alright guys, that's it. I hate outros. I'm so bad at outros. If anyone wants to give me tips on how to do an outro, please do. Thanks. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye. Where's the button?